Breaking. Ronna McDaniel to step down as RNC chair. This is a story that I saw just before we started. I think it was linked by, I think it was Lighthouse. But I saw in news, there were stories talking about this might happen, but then it actually happened. Trump is likely to back Michael Whatley, who currently heads the North Carolina GOP. So, Ronna McDaniel, as far as I understand, leader of the Republican Party, I think that's correct, who was put there by Trump and allies years ago. But we saw a little bit of video before the stream, which sort of expresses some doubts over whether she's actually a good leader. We're going to listen now to this bit of audio that we listened to in the pre-stream from a certain Vivek Ramaswamy during the debates, which I think is relevant to this topic.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party.
Pretty good suggestions. Now, I'm going to maybe repeat some of the stuff I said during the debate here, but Vivek absolutely says good stuff. Now, you can't always trust a politician to stick by his word, and when I say always, I mean you always can't. With very few exceptions, Trump actually showed in 2016 that, yeah, they do sometimes do what they say they're going to do, and that I think we've got far too used to every politician being some flavor of psychopath, either way an empty suit, and they don't have to be like that. I really hope that Vivek isn't like that, and that we actually can trust him, not only to have the right will, but also to be competent. I hope so. And it seems like he has some pretty good things to say here. Now, if the RNC chairperson is responsible for organizing these debates, and she decided, yep, MSNBC is the right place to send the Republicans, then maybe she should resign. Maybe she should resign. Because if they had managed to get Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and who's the other one they said? Tucker Carlson, if they managed to get those three involved as the debate moderators, ooh, chat, press 1 if you'd have watched that. Because, Tucker I like, Joe Rogan I've never really watched, Elon Musk is an interesting character. So I wouldn't be too drawn towards that, except for the fact that those are some big names. It would be kind of interesting to see how they go together and what they would do and what kind of questions they would ask. So absolutely, I'd be interested in seeing that, more so than I would these useless ancient era and controlled opposition, or just opposition MSNBC hosts, or whatever they actually were. So perhaps the problem is that the party is gearing up for a new generation of politics, and Ronna McDaniel is just continuing the old regime, and that maybe that's not helping. Now, I think what he said about her being, in some way responsible for the losses for the Republican Party recently may be unfair, because I think a lot of that has been due to rigging. But yeah, there almost certainly is more that someone in her position could do.
The Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real, or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Roberts.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back. We need accountability, because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why?
Very good. I played the rest of that just so we could hear that. Very good stuff. And again, not certain I can trust him, but I really like what he says. Let me make it very clear with him, though. If he's controlled opposition, then it's a very, very risky type of controlled opposition. Because what they're doing is they're putting someone forward who is saying all the things that the people in the party should probably believe. The things which, if people believed, would be the most damaging to the Democrats. Because it's all about how their structures work, where the problems are, and it's correct what Vivek is saying. It's correct. He's naming ideas which for years the establishment has tried to cover up and make go away. But he's naming them. He's the first and only major politician to be naming some of these ideas. So if he is controlled opposition, it's very, very risky. He's going to get people to vote for him, get into power, and then maybe do something different. Do something that they didn't want. That will be the psyop if he is someone we can't trust. But even then, you're going to have got people riled up about these issues, which are genuine issues, and then you're not going to do them. All that's going to do is they're going to clear you out the way and demand someone who will do something about those issues. So even if he is controlled opposition, it's probably not going to work. It's probably going to do more harm to the enemy than good over the long term. So I suspect he isn't controlled opposition, but of course we still have to be suspicious occasionally. Let's read about Ronald McDaniel and what this resignation means. Now, this is coming very soon after the resignation of Jeff DeWitt, the Arizona leader, Republican Party leader, who stepped down because of the Carrie Lake bribe audio, where Carrie Lake revealed that Jeff DeWitt had tried to offer her a bribe like 5 different times in the space of 10 minutes to leave politics for 2 years. Which is something about which I made the comment, lock him away in a deep dark hole and throw away the key. I said that several times, and I was also holding back from Fed posting several times during the response to that. Unlike Di, who was there with me and was not holding back from Fed posting during that. It may be related, is my point. This resignation could be related. It doesn't have to be, though. Let's have a little read. Beleaguered RNC chair Ronald McDaniel is reportedly intending to step down. Donald Trump, who has been vocal about the need for changes to the RNC, is likely to back Michael Whatley, who currently heads the North Carolina GOP. McDaniel told Trump she was planning to step down in advance of South Carolina's Republican primary on February 24th, the New York Times reports. That contest will see Nikki Haley face off against Trump in her home state. An election will have to be held for the new chair. Now, even though it's Nikki's home state, I think Trump is ahead by like 20 points or more in the polls. So yeah, that's going to be an easy win for Trump, just like every other area. There's a man of pillows talking to 2 other men. McDaniels has been under pressure for months to step down after she failed to deliver the promised red wave in 2022. Recent reports found the RNC's excessive spending also came out, putting further pressure on her to step down. Her chief of staff stepped down earlier on Tuesday, quote, "I know the timing of this news comes as many rumors in the press swirl and we prepare to merge with the presumptive nominee. I assure you the RNC is in an incredibly strong position," Mike Reed said. "I think they are, but they may just not be harnessing it properly." He will also be stepping down later this month. This news comes after Trump and McDaniel met together at Trump's Mar-a-Lago on Monday. After that meeting, it was reported that changes would be coming to the RNC. He posted after that meeting that McDaniel was now head of the RNC and I'll be making the decision the day after the South Carolina primary as to my recommendations for RNC growth. Interesting. So Trump had a plan to sort of rearrange it and gave her the power? McDaniel, that's Ronna, right? Yeah, her. But she just resigned. So this may not be something that Trump wants, actually. As to McDaniel's meeting with Trump, Reed said, "We always knew there would be some changes once we had a presumptive nominee, and we welcomed that," Reed wrote. Chairman McDaniel has had great conversations with President Trump over the last few days and weeks. She will continue to lead this organization to merge seamlessly should he be the nominee, which he will be. Whatley has been a staunch supporter of Trump since he left the White House in 2020 and delivered the state to Trump in that election. He is also the general counsel of the RNC and has been looking to create a new voting laws for that organization. Don't know much about Whatley, but that sounds sounds probably fine. I mean, hopefully, if Trump likes him, there's a better chance of it. But we have seen with Jeff DeWitt, he was part of Trump's team. Trump can't always guarantee that he's picking someone who genuinely he can trust, just like we can't. Frankly, he's got the same job to find trustworthy politicians in a sea of people who were put into position when untrustworthy politicians were universal, were the only option, only kind of politician.